A very good morning to you, watching the Channel 10 Breakfast Show on Monday, the 23rd of February. And I'm pretty sure this morning there'll be a few big Oscar stars with sore heads, as of course the winners were announced at the big swanky do last night, this morning, whichever way you want to look at it. And the big winner was Byron.
The raconteur from Radcliffe, Danny Boyle. Slumdog Millionaire picked up 8 Oscars at the glittering awards ceremony, as Nikki mentioned last night in Los Angeles. 8 gongs were given to the film, which included Best Motion Picture, Best Director for Danny Boyle, also Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Music Score, Best Song. There's so many awards. Fantastic.
Best hairdo, Best Footwear,
Best Socks,
Best Nostrils, Best pretty much everything. 8, that's fantastic. And of course a great cast as well. There's pictured this morning the gorgeous Frida Pinto. She's the 24-year-old star though, who I think is going to go on to big things. And of course Dev Patel, who we all know from Skins as well, just 18.
Absolutely.
Imagine, he's got the world at his feet, hasn't he?
Fantastic experience. What an amazing opportunity to swan down that red carpet surrounded by those multi-millionaire Hollywood stars. And of course, Kate Winslet, always the bridesmaid, never the bride at these dues, finally picked up her Oscar for her role in The Reader. So congratulations to her. Now, in a few minutes, all the latest sporting headlines with Mike Bradley. But first, let's get the latest news bulletin with Bev.
Good morning from the newsroom here at Urbis. Here are today's top stories. Bury film director Danny Boyle has won the top prize at the Academy Awards, winning 8 Oscars, including Best Director and Best Film for his hit film Slumdog Millionaire. Kate Winslet won the Best Actress Oscar for The Reader, and Sean Penn won Best Actor for his role as gay rights activist Harvey Milk. Heath Ledger won a posthumous Oscar for supporting actor in The Dark Knight. Now, it's been revealed some tanning salons in Greater Manchester are allowing children to use sunbeds despite warnings from the Sunbed Association. Campaigners are calling for more government legislation to stop salons from using coin-operated machines, which appeal to young people. A schoolboy who died in his father's arms after opening his birthday presents is to be buried later this afternoon. 12-year-old Martin Christopher McRae had a massive asthma attack as he unwrapped his gifts. His father tried to revive him, but he died later in hospital. It's been the second tragedy to hit the family, as Martin's mother, Angela, died when he was just 3. His funeral will take place at St Patrick's Church in Oldham. The parish priest, Father Phil Sumner, told Channel M that Martin and his dad, Duncan, were exceptionally close.
People will refer to them as being inseparable because he was the only child, was Martin. And once his mum had died when Martin was only 3.5 years old, obviously the relationship then between Martin and his dad was very, very close. And they did so much together. As I understand it, Martin loved his football, his Manchester United, and fancied himself, I suppose, as Cristiano Ronaldo and all these sort of things. But he was more of a quiet lad as well, that would just be quite happy on the PlayStations, asking his mates, what does this mean, looking more about what he could get from the PlayStation and things like that. So he was a quiet lad that just got on with things. There are pupils from both St Aidan and Oswald's, where he was in primary school, and from Our Lady's coming along. They're going to be doing some singing during the course of the service. They will be singing about four hymns.
Police are appealing for information after shots were fired at a house in Whalley Range on Saturday evening. Officers responded to a call from a resident on Upper Chorlton Road and discovered shotgun damage to the front door and window of the house. Anyone with any information is asked to call Crime Stoppers on the number below. A second man has been charged after a car was shot at in Haywood last month. 28-year-old James Matthew Clark of No Fixed Abode has been charged with attempted murder, possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life and witness intimidation. He's due to appear at Rochdale Magistrates Court this morning. 27-year-old John Lamb of Bury New Road, Haywood, has also been charged with attempted murder, possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life and witness intimidation. Some national news now. A bomb explosion in Cairo has killed a 17-year-old French girl and injured more than 20 other people, mostly foreign tourists. It happened at an open-air hotel cafe packed with tourists in the Khan Al-Khalili area, a major attraction and home to a prominent mosque. It's believed the device was homemade and was thrown from a balcony. It's not yet known who is behind the attack. Good news for first-time buyers, as Northern Rock says it's reviving its mortgage business with up to $14 billion in new loans by 2011. The move is part of a wider plan to restructure the nationalised lender and follows a government decision to reverse the wind-down of its loans. Now, if you're a parent of teenage children, chances are you've come to loggerheads over what time they should be back home in the evening. Well, this weekend, a new Home Office scheme saw police officers patrolling Wigan town centre to get kids off the streets. Wigan is one of 27 areas in England to try out the new Operation Stay Safe scheme, which aims to tackle youth crime by returning children back to their homes safely. Home Secretary Jackie Smith said she wants parents to get the message through that allowing children not to be out at night and not know where they are is unacceptable. A man has been arrested in Rochdale after a teenage girl was raped. The girl was walking through woods between Wardle Road and Ashbrook Hay when her attacker jumped out and grabbed her. It's thought he was disturbed by a passerby. Detectives are trying to trace a group of girls who saw a man acting suspiciously in the same area just before the attack. A man is being treated in hospital this morning for injuries suffered when an acetylene gas cylinder ignited at a commercial garage on Sunday afternoon. Traffic diversions and a major exclusion zone caused problems for afternoon traffic and pedestrians. Kevin Duffy has been at the scene.
A 44-year-old welder was transferred to Wythenshawe Burns unit after the blast at a garage in Buckley Street, Openshaw. At one stage, 25 firemen were tackling the incident and dozens of homes were evacuated.
At the moment, it's like I'm coming from work and I can't go through my house, so I'm a bit disappointed anyway.
Do you know when you're going to be able to go back in?
Not yet. They say maybe later tonight, but we don't know yet.
It's a familiar tale. Industrial premises, this time in Openshaw in East Manchester, and acetylene gas cylinders being caught up in a fire. Of course, acetylene is dangerous enough under proper supervision, but in the context of a blaze, it's a potentially deadly combination, and that explains the very large exclusion zone which has been set up since the fire broke out just before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That exclusion zone remains in place and is likely to do so well into the night and probably the early hours of the morning. This woman saw the drama unfold.
And I went to see, and then when I come in the kitchen, I just saw the black smoke and shouted my friend to come and have a look. And when he looked, he said, "Oh, there's a fire over there."
As the evening has worn on, the situation has become slightly more complicated because the stretch of Ashton Old Road behind me was open to traffic earlier this afternoon. But as you can now see, it's been closed off and cars are being diverted away from the scene of the fire much earlier. The fire service investigation continues. Kevin Duffy for Channel M News.
Well, tune in for the latest from Channel M News at noon, and Andy Crane will be here tonight from 5. Time now for today's sport with Mike and Byron.
Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1. So have the Blues been one hurdle too many for Rafa's road to the top of the Premiership? What do you think, Mike?
I think they have, and the rumour mill has gone into overdrive this morning. We've just heard Rafa Benitez has refused to sign the 4th draft of his new contract, so it does look like he's heading out to the Anfield exit door. Already this morning he's been linked with Real Madrid, which is a possibility, Newcastle, which is unlikely, and Manchester City, which of course not, because Jose Mourinho's coming into Manchester in June, as we know it. And Bolton, according to one of the papers, Bolton looking to replace Gary Megson with young Owen Coyle from Burnley. That's in the summer. I find that a bit difficult to believe because Bolton have certainly turned the corner these past few weeks.
Yeah,
but
great result at the weekend.
Great result at the weekend. They've had a great run of form as well, you know, and they're looking as if they could qualify for the next season's UEFA Cup. So unlikely that one. Maybe it's just a bit mischievous. We don't know, but we'll keep an eye on it anyway, nonetheless.
I think we haven't any speculation from the Reebok Stadium for some time, so I think someone had to stick something in quick.
If it's not them doing it, it's normally us anyway, so...
OK, shall we turn our attentions to Super League action?
Yeah, yesterday's game, Salford City Reds, not a good second game in Super League for the new boys, losing 29-10 at Wakefield. 19-0 down at half-time. Strong words in the dressing room from Sean McRae. Seemed to have worked the magic, but it's just a pity he couldn't have come out with those strong words at the beginning of the first half, really, and then they might have had 2 good halves put together, which would have made a good game. Played 1-1-1 away at Castlefield at the weekend, so a tough baptism back in the Super League, but I don't think they're going to struggle. It was just a good day. Everything went right for Wakefield in the first half. Salford were shocking. You have one shocking half every season. I hope that's theirs.
OK, we'll turn our attentions to ice hockey now. And Manchester Phoenix were in action, and Beauregard is at it again.
Beauregard is at it again. I mean, he can do no wrong, that man. The league's leading scorer. They played Basingstoke Bison away on Saturday, whooped them 5-2, and as Byron said, Beauregard grabs a hat-trick. Fulgham and Ward also on the score sheet. I think that makes them a 3-man team, doesn't it? In the return game on Sunday, well, the crowd were allowed in. They were told there's going to be a bit of a delay. There was a delay. The game was postponed because the Basingstoke bus caught fire just this side of Birmingham, and the game rearranged for March the 3rd. But Phoenix are back in action. Hope there's no fire anywhere near them on Thursday night when they play the Newcastle Vipers. That's in the second leg semi-final of the Knockout Cup. They're 5-2 ahead, so this time on Friday morning we could be celebrating 2 cup finals for the Phoenix.
You see, the Phoenix can rise from the ashes. Just a shame that Basingstoke can't.
Just in case, shame their bus didn't.
Yeah, that shouldn't be funny, but it is.
It's hilarious.
OK, let's turn our attention to the bright lights of Staley Vegas.
Staley Vegas in Blue Square North action over the weekend. Let's take a quick look at the highlights from what was a pretty good game.
A big goal's looking for Beckett. Control is brilliant, looks to knock it over Phillips. It is a brilliant goal.
I think we've played some decent stuff, but we've conceded a couple of sloppy goals, one from a set piece, and the referee's held his hands up for the first one. He was offside. He's coming at half-time and told the gaffer and Mitch that he's made a mistake, so there's nothing you can do about that. But we've created enough chances to win the game.
OK, we've been following the fortunes of Salford City Reds in the Super League, but what of Sale in Union?
Sale in Union, well, it looks like all changed. Philippe Saint-André has already announced he's going to head to Toulon at the end of this season. He's been sort of demoted at Sale Sharks. It looks like he's taking Rory Lamont, the utility, back with him. Rory's come in this week with pretty excessive wage demands. The club have said no, so he said, I'm off. It looks like it will be to Toulon. Luke McAllister, the highly rated All Black, he's undergone keyhole surgery. He's going to be out for between 4 and 6 weeks. And he's going to spend the first week of that discussing his long-term future with Kingsley Jones at Sale. We expect a decision by Friday. We expect that decision to be, see you, Kingsley, I'm off back to New Zealand. I don't like it at Edgeley Park anymore.
Talking of being seen off, Michael Jennings had the opportunity of a lifetime to fight Miguel Cotto for the vacant welterweight WBO World Championship.
He did. He won a lot of friends in what was an incredibly boisterous Madison Square Gardens on Saturday night. He got his backside kicked, unfortunately. He was down twice in the 4th round, down again in the 5th, and he took a knee shortly before the end of round 5. He wanted to carry on, but the referee had seen enough. And wisely, you know, some people were saying it was stopped too early. You can never stop a boxing bout too early to save young Michael from further punishment. So he won a lot of friends out there. He certainly showed a lot of bottled spirit, heart, desire, grit, determination, which is what Michael Jennings is all about. It's only his 2nd loss in 33 fights. He will come back, and I do expect him to reclaim the British and European Championship before the end of the year. So a good payday for him and a good learning curve.
OK, we'd like to finish off on some specialised sports from around the region, and today we've got water polo.
Doesn't get much more specialised than water polo, does it? The National Championships were held at the Sports City over the weekend. Kate Lewis, the performance director, spoke to us about how disappointed she was. Funding for Team GB has just been slashed.
With funding, it means that they can train full-time, whereas now, some of them work part-time, whereas now it's going to have implications because the girls are going to have to, you know, pay rent, they're going to have to feed themselves, they've got the travelling expenses, and it just makes things a lot more difficult, which means the training is often scheduled at ridiculous times of the day, very early in the morning, late at night, because it's got to be fit around people working. And, you know, when you're working full-time and training, you know, it's very difficult to get all your training in, plus the quality of the training because you're tired anyway. It's going to have big implications, really. And it also has implications for them going away for warm-up tournaments and friendly competitions, because that's the best way to prep for big competitions, is to go away and play against other teams. And if you've not got the funding to go and do that, then you're at a disadvantage straight away.
Well, more sport with Mike Bradley on tomorrow's breakfast show. Coming up after the break, we're going to show you how you can get involved in the I Love Manchester Award as part of Manchester's Tourism Awards taking place in this city in May. That's with the City Life Entertainments team coming up shortly. See you soon.